We are back with Grazel Garcia again. Lovely to see you again. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's always so nice to be here with you.
Thank
How
you.
are you?
Yeah, really good. Um, One of the biggest reasons I think most couples will come to couples therapy, and maybe you can tell me I'm wrong here, um, is when one side, or sometimes even both sides, I suppose, has been a little bit naughty and had an affair, effectively. Would you agree that that's a really common reason people come to couples therapy?
It's it's it happens
Hmm.
and it's not unusual. So yes, people do come with feelings of pain because of betrayals.
Hmm.
And betrayals can be defined in many different ways. So yeah.
Yeah. And just out of interest, when that happens, presumably when a couple comes to couples therapy with some kind of betrayal having happened, they are both willing to work on the relationship. Do you find that's the case?
Yes, most of the time.
Yeah.
Both partners are committed to making it work. And there are times where couples come in and they're trying to discern whether they want to stay in the relationship or not after an affair.
Hmm. Yeah. And obviously, it's a very difficult topic to talk about. I mean, we want to do it sensitively, obviously. It's a very, very difficult situation because there are all kinds of reasons why person A might have done that or person B might have done that. So, what's the first step you take when you're working with a couple dealing with that kind of betrayal?
Yeah, the first thing I do is to assess their commitment to making the relationship work,
Hmm.
right? I want to know whether both partners are still wanting to stay in the relationship.
Hmm.
That assessment phase of the work is very important because couples therapy are for couples that are wanting to stay in the relationship.
Mm, absolutely.
So if a couple that's coming in for an affair and one of them, let's say the assessment tells me that one of the partners are is ready to lean out of the relationship, then I really have to assess what percentage are they leaning out of the partnership.
Yeah.
If one partner is leaning out and the other partner is leaning in, and it's clear to me that they have mixed agendas about their commitment to staying in the relationship, then I have to refer them out to discernment counseling, which is where they look at whether the relationship is going to work or not.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's obviously such a big deal in this kind of scenario. Like, if one person's already got one foot out of the door, there's no scope for the relationship to heal after something like that.
Yes.
But assuming they both want to work on it, um, how do you help the one who has been betrayed actually feel safe enough to open up and kind of let the other person back in again? Because the second a betrayal happens like that, your defenses are up. There's not really anything you personally can do about that. Um, so how do you help
You,
them to bring those defenses down?
oh my gosh, it's such a great question. It's such a great question. And I'm glad you're asking this because attachment injury repair is a very hard one to do.
Hmm.
And I think partners who went outside of the relationship and had an affair can be very lost in their shame
Hmm.
of hurting their partner. That when they start to hear their partner's, the injured partner's pain, they go in defense right away. So, in order to provide safety for both of them, psychoeducation is really important. That, psychoeducation about the shame that the injuring partner is going through can block safety for the injured partner to open up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the injured partner not having a place to open up will recreate or will perpetuate the pain from the betrayal.
Hmm.
So I have to be very careful about educating the partners
Hmm.
what betrayal does to our psyche and to our hearts when that happens.
Yeah, because I suppose it's very easy to focus on the person who has been betrayed, but even for the betrayer, if they still love the person, they see that they've hurt them, and that might be very difficult for them to deal with. And then they get defensive and say, "Oh, it's not my fault," because it's actually really hard for them to accept that they've done something wrong because they really feel that. So, I mean, there's obviously massive feelings of shame and guilt involved in the betrayer. How do you deal with that side of it?
I validate it. You know, it's a part of the process, right? Like what you're saying, of course, they love their partner, but then they have these questions. Why did I go out of the relationship and hurt the person I love? And now I'm seeing them in pain and I'm so ashamed about it. And I feel so guilty. Those are feelings that need to be attended to as well.
Hmm.
And so I give space for that. But in the beginning stages of the work, um, I need the injurer or the betrayer to be able to stay with the pain of the injured partner
Hmm.
first,
Yeah.
first, right? And in that moment, I'm helping the injurer increase their window of tolerance to feelings of distress that their partner is sharing,
Mm.
because they wouldn't be able to hear it if they go into their defense and become lost in their own shame. When they get lost in their own shame, the shame itself blocks connection again. So I have to be very careful in working with the couple
Yeah.
and balancing the validation. But the pain, always in general, the pain must be attended to first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in terms of attending to pain, how practically can you do that? Can the couple do that together? Like, is it just about talking about it, or
Absolutely.
is there something else?
Well, in EFT, we talk about everything. We use emotions as a way to promote and cultivate safe connection. When there's attachment injury happening, betrayal, it could be porn use, gambling, it could be cheating, it could be anything. Those are all forms of betrayal. In EFT, we really look at the pain and let the pain speak for itself. When the pain is heard, there's more connection there. But when the pain is blocked because the shame of the person who betrayed the partner is so big, then I have to really look at de-escalating that, like we talked about earlier. Is that knowing how to de-escalate the defenses so that I can start promoting more of a safer connection. It's not going to feel safe right away, of course, but I need to be able to provide that safe and brave space in the room.
Yeah, and
Does
without.
that kind of answer your question?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's very it's a very interesting and kind of analyzing it academically, which isn't great, but it's a very interesting dynamic because you've got two people who want to be in the relationship. One person has stepped out, gambled, whatever. There's been a betrayal, but they both still want to be in the relationship. And then rebuilding that trust, that takes a lot of time and a lot of commitment. And again, you're talking about kind of
Does
having that pain heard. And so many people just aren't good at sitting with someone in their pain and just letting them feel the pain and talk about the pain. it's it's such a difficult thing to do. I don't know, maybe I'm just speaking from a male perspective. It's a very difficult thing for me to do because you want to be a fixer, you want to fix the problem, and you can't fix the problem. You cause the problem. you know, um,
Yeah, and thanks for bringing yourself in, the topic, Scott, because I'm sure that as you're saying that, you're speaking to other males that may be listening to this, and it is harder for, men to sit in their emotions, let alone sit in the discomfort that they caused in their partner and or pain, not just discomfort, the pain that they've caused their partner. But the people that went outside of the relationship also is not void of pain, right? Like sometimes they have a lot of reasons for why they went out of the relationship because there's a pattern that's been ongoing in the relationship that haven't been resolved.
mhm.
So sometimes people just go outside and that's the coping that they feel like are useful to them until they realize, oh, this is making it worse, right? But I say that because a lot of the injurers that come into couples therapy, sometimes they come in and they say, but it's her fault or it's his fault. The reason why I went outside of the relationship, it's because this has been going on in a relationship for so many years and they're not fixing it. So what do you expect me to do? So that's part of their defense, and that doesn't make it
Right.
easier
Yeah.
when we go into that space. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then again, it's such a big topic that maybe one of our podcasts we can look at, just betrayal in of itself because it's so important for many people
Yeah.
to listen to have guidance on.
Yeah. No, that would be a great topic to get into in a bit more detail. Because yeah, it's massive and I don't know, I have a gut feeling that it's something that really impacts a lot of couples, and knowing how to recover from that is so key. Because being in a partnership, particularly when you're committed to each other, it's a great thing. It's a healthy thing, and you don't want to throw that away for any reason. Um, well, the only reason is because you don't want to be in that relationship anymore. But just because a betrayal has happened, that doesn't necessarily mean that's the case. Um, yeah, I'm waffling at this point, but just one last question because I think this is a really good one. What does trust actually look like once it's been rebuilt in this kind of situation when there's been a betrayal? Is it ever the same as it once was?
No,
No.
no, sadly, I wish. It's really sad when couples come in when there's a lot of pain from a betrayal because they're both trying to understand what happened in a relationship. How did we get here? Right? And there's many different factors that play into that.
Mm-hmm.
So the trust is definitely tainted, if not broken.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes a long time to rebuild that trust. And rebuilding trust means that there is a safe space to be heard and to be held and to be attended to. So that's what I'm promoting and cultivating in the room when there's injuries, attachment injuries, or that's the psychobabble that we use in EFT and attachment theory is that when there's a betrayal, it's it's an injury to our attachment with ourselves and with our partners. And in order to build trust again, we need to tend to that injury, that wound.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be very big, right when they come in and show up in the room. It could be bleeding, right? And when it's bleeding, I need to attend to it quickly. But if the betrayer or the injurer keeps taking the bandage off that I'm putting because they feel a lot of shame and which makes sense, right? I have to be careful and make sure that, hey, can you stay here with me? Right? There's a lot of pain from your loved one after you've gone out of the relationship, right? And then I go to the injurer and ask, like, what is that like to hear that your partner is in so much pain? And we process. I go back and forth. So there's space for both of them.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to stay away from would be the shame, the toxic shame from the injured partner
Mm.
that comes up, and the probably the anger of the injured partner that comes up. I need to soften both defenses.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. And then once those defenses are down, it actually gives you the space to come together again. Um, yeah, I mean, this
Yeah.
is such a massive topic. We will definitely speak a bit more about this in the future. But thank you again so much for your time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we'll speak.
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.